G'day YouTubers, and thank you for tuning in to today's verdant video on YouTube. Don't ask me why that I'm urinating right next to a hedgerow. Well, it's time for me to go ahead and take a look at some of the updates I've done so far. I've just grabbed some flower beds because I'm about to grow some of these amazing zinnias, which will be basking in some beautiful tropical sunlight from tomorrow. I don't know how hot it's going to be like tomorrow because obviously I'll be in my room doing online learning, but then there's actually quite a bit of a mixture of good and bad news around here. I think this nasturtium here is looking a little bit wonky, but what I'm seeing here is we've got some nasturtium blossom buds coming right out. And in fact, if you remember in the previous video, we've got the coreopsis. We've also got that yellow flower as well. Unfortunately, I also had to take out the other yellow flower just because I was doing a whole bunch of transplanting activity along the way here. So I've just done that for that very amazing purpose. But my crikey Charlies, we've actually got some very good news here. I can actually see a couple of nasturtium blossom buds that are about to appear. And if I go relatively closely, you can actually see what's going on right here at the moment now. So we're starting to see one that's popping up really nicely, and there's another one. So hopefully as the temperatures start to climb, we will start to see a very big activity of, I don't know what to really say, but there's a lot of like blossoming going around here. In fact, if I just track along, there's actually all sorts and all kinds of different nasturtium activities along the way here, even though this one here has seen a lot of damage. But that doesn't matter because all I'm seeing is some good news around here. Surrounding this, we've got more nasturtium buds that will start to blossom later on. I'm actually straightforward thinking about, I think the best thing about nasturtiums is that you can actually harvest the leaves and then eat them, in particular the big ones. You can definitely eat the big ones, but I don't know if I could really eat the small ones. They're actually looking fantastic. We've got some zinnia seedlings here, which don't seem to have a home. But we've actually got one plant pot right here, which is okay. What else am I seeing here? We've got more of these weird looking pink flower things, which I've got no clue what they are, but at least I've just taken a big water of them. And there's a cat that has actually decided to raid in the making of my video. I'm actually quite curious about that cat. Oh man. Oh, where's that little pussy cat? Hello. Oh, there you are. Hello. Wonder why you're here making straightforward a little bit of a tomfoolery sort of moment here. And that cat is straightforward, very inquisitive. Don't know if I can come along and stroke this little beast. Oh, it's coming up right next to me. Hello. Nice to be part in the video, of course. Oh my gosh. Why are you headbutting me? That's a bit naughty to do. Oh, there's another cat. There's another black and white cat. Seems like the cats really enjoy a bit of spare time here. I'm actually stroking this little beast. Not sure if he likes me or dislikes about me the most, eh? You're quite a little sweetheart, aren't you? You're quite a bit cheeky around my head. Around my hands and stuff. Oh, there's your little tail. Don't know if you could do a little tail on the flick. They're quite cute little fellas. I often feed them with like sausages and even bacon and other meats around here too. I think the best thing to do is stroke them right over via that section too. They're actually quite fairly inquisitive. In fact, we've got about 2 to 3 black and white cats. I don't know why I'm trekking around through other people's neighborhoods. This is crazy. In fact, I'm actually seeing another cat right there. I think I should have never intruded other people's gardens. But it looks like the cats have got the homes to themselves. How weird is that? I can see some foxgloves growing by other people, of course. But let me just continue on to the story of what I've got at the moment. Otherwise, I'll be raiding other people's homes. Okay, let me just go back to where I was. We've got some lovely looking roses and chrysanthemums growing around here. In fact, I've actually got roses, some ox-eye daisies, and there's also, I wonder what these flowers are called. They're not bluebells, but I wonder what these purple lavender lilac looking flowers are called. I might have to straightforward stop moving for a bit here because I want you guys just to see a bit of a close-up on what these flowers are. And maybe you can definitely take a pause or whatever the hell these flowers are. Or should I just say the word heaven? That's more appropriate, isn't it? And as I'm just walking back, and mind you, I really love making these styles of videos on YouTube, although they're not as great as tour reviews. There's a whole bunch of mess surrounding here because I've been doing a lot of digging through various bits of soil around here. And as you can see, the Coreopsis, if that's a very good plural, of course. And strangely enough, I'm actually seeing some more good news surrounding the cosmos. I can actually start to see that the cosmos is actually starting to grow a bit taller. You can actually see what's growing right here. But what I'm not seeing is some flower heads. So I think they're going to take a little bit longer just for that process to start creating some flower heads. Maybe they might start to blossom during, I don't know, maybe around mid to late summer, I'm probably guessing, I guess. We've got more nasturtium seedlings right here, but these are just recently planted. I should have planted at least around May, but I feel like, hey, you know what? I think that's okay. Maybe there's actually quite a lot of those. I think the bigger ones are the ones which have been planted during May. Might be totally wrong, but pretty sure they're the ones that were grown during April. Okay, so we've got more zinnia activity right here. There's more nasturtium activity right here. I also did put a nasturtium plant. There's actually two of them. There's one right here. There's another one there. There's the big one right here. I'm actually just going to have a look at this big nasturtium plant, which I'm quite curious. I was going to think about, maybe I want to take out the big chunky green looking leaves here. And thank goodness there's a bit of water here because I've been watering the plants here. Hey, and there you go. We've also got more blossoms. There's actually all sorts of different flowers there. They're actually closing a bit because the sun is straight for its setting, and it's so nice to come outside in that sort of time because it's not that hot. I'm actually seeing so many different insects at this time of the year, which is just fairly fantastic. Yes, the sun is setting. We've got some roses around here, and what is amazing is, what's that? Is that a cinnabar moth? No way! These are beautiful looking critters. They're fairly common. I'm actually quite curious to investigate. There is a beautiful, look at that. Look at the design in that thing. It looks quite beautiful. I'm actually quite curious to see that little moth. Oh man, it's like one of those nature documentaries. Oh, off it goes. Quite a beautiful specimen. Very amazing. We've got a little cinnabar moth that's straightforward, fluttering around, looking for some flowers. And I think that's the best thing that I've done with what I've just grown so far, is that I've grown so many zinnias, which makes it the perfect sort of zone, the perfect sort of plant for these little moths. And it looks like that, as funny as this sounds, hey, even though we've gone through a period of global warming and climate change, as always, as per usual, we're seeing so many of these moths. And it looks like they're fluttering around in pairs. I wonder what they're up to. Fairly amazing little moths. Okay, and apart from the cinnabar moths, in fact, there's about one or two of them. There's another moth right here, which I've got no clue which specimen it was. We've got this zinnia seedling right here. It's actually been growing nicely, even though I'm starting to see a bit of decay on that top part of the leaf. It's actually doing fairly well. I might leave it to grow. If this one fails, I've actually got more of these zinnia seedlings to transplant, which will be alright, of course, to possibly say the least. And as I'm starting to scroll around here, I can't see any cornflower seedlings. I can't see the fact that they're just straightforward growing. I don't think I've done a very good job on growing the cornflower seedlings correctly. Maybe I need to do it again for the following year. There's actually a lot of talking around here. I think it's Indian, so I don't know how much I'm going to really talk over. We've got a lot of field mustards right here. And there's also some wild garlics right there. And I don't know if I'm going to cope with the utter amount of background noise. I've just added some bird food right here. The bird food is mixed corn, so hopefully the birds will be able to feast on that. Okay, and then we've also got some parsley, which looks like it's been collapsed somehow. I might have to water down these little things, even though I feel like I have. Maybe I can just, basically cut them out and just, maybe I can just cut a few of these out, put them into my dinner, and hey, that would taste nice. And let's not forget those amazing looking onion leaves, because hey, I haven't been eating those for quite some time now. Maybe I need to cut these down and probably think about oh my goodness me. Don't know if I could probably say a word or so, but hey, maybe I can come along and eat those. And apart from onion leaves, we've also got some wild cabbage flowers. They are actually growing very, very nicely. In fact, this looks absolutely amazing. You can start to see there's a lot of buds popping right out. This side here, I feel like I need to trim right there, but there's also more blossoming activity right here, which I'm actually starting to see. I might probably wait for a few months, and there's a kid screaming in the background. God damn it! I need to do a jump cut. And what's really amazing is that we've also got these beautiful white roses right over at that side there. And what's even weird are those plants which are closely related to the white nightshade. I don't know if these are nightshade looking plants. Maybe these are weeds or whatever. I've got no idea what plants they are, but they have got some beautiful looking flowers. Amazing flowers, just like them roses right there. Actually, I'm quite curious about getting close to the roses. Are these actual roses? Or are they not roses? Maybe I need to give myself... Wow, this could be a very good wedding boutique sort of flower. Hey, they look very cute. And look, they're starting to pop out already now. Who knows? I might give it as a lovely little gift for someone, I suppose. Hey, that is fairly amazing. Somehow, these flowers look very beautiful. Maybe I might as well cut these down during the cooler parts of the day. Or maybe sometime next month. Somehow. I don't know, but hey, these flowers look absolutely beautiful. But then, hey, we've also got more of these little rose buds. They're looking fantastic. They're actually quite nice to see somehow. Maybe I can try and deadhead those dried up roses, if that's alright. And maybe these part of the plants. I don't know what to really say, but hey, these look fairly fantastic. Excellent to have those flowers around, because not only they're just beautiful, but hey, they're going to attract a lot of bees. And right behind me is a garlic, which looks like it has been straightforward growing successfully. I don't know how am I going to really say, but hey, maybe I might as well harvest it during the colder parts of autumn time. I have to wait for basically about 3 to 4 months, but hey, it doesn't really matter somehow, because hey, it seems like everything is all going well with me. And what's quite funny is that hey, I haven't been growing any tomatoes. Bit sad, isn't it? But hey, that's just how it is. I might try and think about growing tomatoes next year, if I have some time. But then, hey, you know what? That's all I'm going to really say here, because, hey, and there's more screaming! Cut it down! And they're not even listening to me. Because I'm straightforward too far away. Dang it. Anyways, I might as well turn the brightness here so that I can just see almost everything. And the sun is setting like, wow, it's just stunning. I can't believe it. And I suppose all the other critters have gone to sleep now, which is quite crazy as this sounds. Yeah, we've got, strangely enough, I've been digging around, and all of these here I've just found there's a lot of those weird-looking, green-looking cog-type things. And we've also got some sunflower seedlings, which actually have been germinating nicely, and there's more zinnia seedlings. Look, I've got hundreds of zinnias ready to be transplanted whenever I feel like I want to. Because, hey, clearly with the sunflower seedlings, they're going to take a long time for them to grow. Maybe as an alternative replacement for the zinnias. Because I can see, that's not that great. I can see there's a bit of weed activity right here. That's not good. That's not really good as I initially thought. But hey, you know what? I've actually got lots of zinnia seedlings to transplant. And blimey, this is actually fantastic. Seeing that lot of zinnia seedlings. And also cosmos seedlings. I'll have to say the cosmoses are straightforward growing nicely. But what's most importantly is, hey, guess what? The nasturtium that I planted, I think that one there is blossoming successfully. That one there, which is of course the biggest one that I've planted so far, I think the first one I've transplanted is definitely that one there. If I turn my brightness, if I go ahead and zoom in, because I don't think I'm going to have that much sufficient time. Let me go ahead and bit of a close up this time. Don't know what to really say, but I think this one is. I don't think it's going to blossom out some beautiful looking flowers, and I thought I nearly crushed on something. Dang it! But we've got some extra flower buds coming around here. I think they're going to blossom a little bit late, even though I've just placed them a little bit early. What else can I really say? I did transplant those nasturtiums. This one here is probably the biggest. I can see the blossoms, the buds starting to appear, but what I've witnessed so far is that the one that you just saw earlier on, this one right here, this one here is starting to blossom really early. Like, you can actually see there's a bit of orange poking out. Maybe I can see a bit of red or yellow or peach, whatever I'm going to call it. So, hey, we might start to see an explosion of nasturtiums as the weeks and the months go by, and hopefully it's going to attract all kinds of different insects around my neighborhood, and that will be spectacular. So anyways, if you really enjoyed in this amazing garden tour around, one more thing actually, I didn't even talk about the bloody wild field mustards that I've grown in the backyard garden. And look, I've actually just straightforward placed them with some water. If I take these guys out, there's a lot of like water that has been inside for a long period of time. And would have been some excellent sources of compost somehow. Maybe it would have been useful. Maybe, I'm not sure if vase water or vase water would have been excellent fertilizer for the plants. I don't know. But it seems like we've got some very good success here. That even though those plants look like they were dying, it's actually attracting a bit of hoverfly and other pollinator insect activity. So that was actually fascinating to see. Somehow, that was just amazing. I feel like it is. Tell you what, it's just a giant thicket of various, plants that I've just grown. This is just fantastic. And I'll tell you what, even though my garden is becoming, well, let's just say minimalistic, well, this is actually fantastic. And I got a really, don't know what to really say, but this is fantastic. I got a really funny feeling, hey, you know what, by the time when the hot weather comes, at the new end of this week, and also into next week, tell you what, all these plants are going to end up having flowers by the rest of what this year is going to have. But the big question is, hey, how successful is it going to be like as the months lapse by? I'm quite curious to see what the heck is it going to be like. Anyways, I'm going to leave this video here because I tell you what, the sun is setting and I need to get myself ready for tomorrow. Right, if you really enjoyed in this unusual part so far, who knows, I might as well just tidy up the rest of the soil, maybe tomorrow, I guess. And I'll tell you what, if it wasn't just me, I've been straightforward clearing all bits of the wreckage from that stupid, how would you call it, John Cena toy wreckage. And look at that, that's part of John Cena's head, or hair as I like to call it. Look at that, he's straightforward resting himself in pieces. Yep, I can't see the rest of his parts of his body, but I'll tell you what, John Cena is dead. And I'll tell you what, that's very funny of me. Anyways, I'm going to straightforward end the video here. If you really enjoyed this video, please give this video a very good like. Subscribe for more for that videos in the future. And as always, thanks so much for watching. And bye for now. And strangely enough, I still can't find all of the parts of where I just smashed up that crazy John Cena video that I did. How weird was that? A month ago.